Good morning. I'm Dean Mark Alexander, and I'm thrilled, absolutely thrilled that you're here today. When I arrived here at Villanova Law a couple of years ago, I had a vision for what our school and our community could become, and I came with great optimism for what I saw. And every day that vision is reality. This place is truly special. And you, our new 1Ls, will make our community even better. And we, the faculty, staff, administration, and alumni, will help make you better too. And today is the first day of a great new chapter for all of you. You've taken the crucial first step toward becoming a Villanova lawyer. Together, you're embarking on exciting adventures. You're launching a transformative journey, hand in hand, side by side. You are entering a profession, one I am quite proud to be a part of. It is a noble profession. Lawyers serve people's needs. We are joined in a common pursuit. And now, more specifically, you are joined together from this day forward. In the old paper chase model of law school, on the first day, the dean would say, "Look to your left, look to your right." One of those people will no longer be with us in a year from now. Well, I reject that. Instead, I offer an alternative. Take a moment now, look to your left, look to your right. Introduce yourselves. Shake hands, say hi. Faculty, you can say hi to each other. What you have just done is you have met somebody who will be a partner at a law firm, a prosecutor, a judge, corporate general counsel. You all will be leaders in the law and in your communities. All of you in this room will know each other and you will work with each other. 3 years from now, you will graduate together. 10 years from now, one of you will be negotiating a deal across the table from another one. Maybe 15 years, one of you will argue a motion in front of another one who is a judge. You understand the point. You're going forward together, and I want you to think, starting now, think of yourselves as lawyers, as colleagues, and certainly as friends. I look out at you and I see an extraordinary group of individuals, and I know you will make excellent lawyers. You come from 22 states, Puerto Rico, and even as far away as Dubai. Some of you came straight from colleges as wide-ranging as Columbia University, NYU, Oberlin, University of Hawaii, Texas A&M, and of course, right here, just took a few steps across campus. Some of you worked before starting law school. Among this class, we have financial analysts, an engineer, and a photographer. And now we are all joined as a community. And what is that community? As I look at our community, I see we are bound by a mission to serve as lawyers, where we are empathetic to our clients and to each other, and we do so while we walk these halls together. And we do so with civility and kindness. Our faculty, who you'll meet in a few minutes, will extend themselves to you. They will maintain an open-door policy. They will listen and advise. They will not always agree with you, nor you with them. But we all will come with an open mind and an open heart. I say that because here at Villanova Law, we celebrate our diversity and actively seek to expose ourselves to varying viewpoints. We ask the tough and sometimes uncomfortable questions, and we learn from each other. In this very space, in this commons where you are sitting, our entire community gathers to discuss today's most relevant issues. From the Me Too movement to the Supreme Court nomination, we explore legal and societal impact of breaking news. And we do so in a nonpartisan way. We find common ground in our passion for the law and our commitment to country. And we engage in the art of agreement. We must continue to ask the hard ethical questions as well, because the study of law is meaningless without a moral compass to guide. So we don't always agree, but we are always stronger for the conversation. And we do so as a community, as a family. It's part of the Augustinian mission of the university. Look there. It says Veritas Unitas Caritas. We are a community. That's the Unitas part. And it is my honor to welcome you to the community. Now, while I'm welcoming you here today as dean, I also was once in your shoes, believe it or not. I was a law student and have some insight into what you can expect in the next 3 years. As I said before, law school is transformative. And I look back on it and I'm amazed at how much I learned. Not just from within the books that weighed me down, and you've gotten your books, you know they'll weigh you down a bit. But I learned so much more from my teachers, my friends, my family about what I was becoming. And I want to share with you a few things about things that I think will be important in these coming years for you as law students and as lawyers and leaders in the future. You know, sometimes as an effective lawyer, you're going to have to be out front, leading on a matter. And sometimes you're going to be behind the scenes, guiding a team. It requires your judgment. And you're going to develop all kinds of skills while a student. But I want to talk to you just for a few more minutes about a quality that I think is essential to your time as law students. I want to talk to you about courage. As lawyers, we must embody the courage that our clients might not be able to muster. The client doesn't have the knowledge, the experience, or the training that you will. Your clients may need an advocate, a problem solver, or an advisor. Being a good lawyer means taking the client, gaining her confidence, and confirming that the faith she placed in you was not mislaid. And it's more than that. You know, when you take the professional oath tomorrow, it'll be a first step towards your life as a lawyer. And your success in that life is going to require more than just courage of advocacy. It's the courage of deciding what to do with yourself in your professional life. This is a noble profession, and I want you to act with courage to protect the profession and to protect the law. So look inward as well as outward all the time. So let me talk about 3 things that might exemplify some courage you may exhibit as a lawyer. First, take a risk for a client. Take a client who has a dream for a company and help that client start the company and grow the company. Or take a client who has a problem that the law has never addressed. Or take a client who says he or she has suffered at the hands of the powerful but can't afford to pay you a big fee. Have the courage not to say, oh, come back when you've got the money. A second thought, have the courage to take on a client or a cause which may seem like a long shot, maybe unpopular. You're going to have plenty of routine cases you handle, plenty of transactions that will be free from controversy. But have the courage to take on the case that will challenge, something that will keep you up at night. Don't simply watch the world go by and accept the status quo. To paraphrase Robert F. Kennedy, don't simply see things as they are and ask why, but imagine that which is not and ask, why not? So being an outstanding leader and advocate for your clients means turning the seemingly insurmountable into something that's possible. And a third idea about how you can show courage as a member of this noble profession. Have the courage to keep an open mind about your future job as a lawyer. Work in government, go into business, maybe even become a law professor. See, in coming to law school, you made a very big decision to commit yourself to a profession, but not to a job. You didn't choose a job. You chose this noble profession. And most of you will be practicing lawyers, and that's great. But you might set your sights on public service. Maybe run a nonprofit like many of our graduates. Maybe you can find yourself as a chief risk officer of the United States Treasury, like another alum. Or take the path of Nelson Mandela, or baseball manager Tony La Russa, or American Express CEO Ken Chenault, or the artist Henri Matisse. They all studied law. They found their path. But wherever you go in life, you will always be pleasantly surprised at how well your legal training serves you. So, what does that have to do? I talk about life as lawyers. What does that have to do with you now as you embark on this journey as a law student? Right? You need courage once you're done with law school, but also I think you need some courage in law school. And I think back, and I was just actually speaking with Professor Barry about this, thinking back to my first day of law school. I remember that. She remembers it too. I remember the feeling in my stomach, the feeling which some of you maybe are feeling, maybe have felt, maybe when you woke up, maybe at this moment. And I applaud the courage it took for you to get here in the first place. And you're going to need that courage, all that hard work, that you've done to get here, you're going to keep working at it. So let me talk about 3 quick things that you can do to show your courage in law school. First, I encourage you to speak in class. Now, all the professors here, I think, are happy to hear that, and hopefully you'll follow that. But speak in class, particularly when you're not even sure how your answer will be received. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. In a few days from now, you'll be sitting in a classroom wondering what's going to happen, waiting for that moment when you're called on. I remember being called on in the first class in so many of my courses by professors who started with the A's, Alexander, at the top of the roster. But I was ready, and you will be too. Now, some of you may be tempted to try the classic avoidance techniques that have been honed by generations of 1Ls before you, hoping the professor won't call on you. You know, there's a slump down. I love that one, where you slump down, you try and get as low as possible, thinking that you're going to get just behind that desk and your books and your laptop. There's the look down, where you think you're working on those notes. Oh, I'm looking at those notes. Or I'm looking at that book, right? You keep looking down. My favorite, actually, is the stare down. I call it the stare down, where you just stare at the professor like, I dare you to call me, hoping you're not going to get called on, but you're like, I dare you. Well, whatever the technique is, I say resist the urge. Instead, have the courage to volunteer in class. Raise your hand and speak up. Your classmates will be there for you, and they will appreciate your example. You see, we're in the business of ideas, sort of the veritas part up there. And we must be willing to try them out to see how they work. So we learn by speaking out with care and courage to see how our ideas will be received. Some are going to be praised and some are going to be criticized. But we learn from both experiences. A second thought about how we can act with courage. Try not to judge the person who does display that courage to put herself out there and express her ideas. When someone speaks, I urge you, listen first, then analyze the idea, then respond to it. Address the issue, speak constructively, and all the while have the courage not to brand the person. Treat the person with whom you disagree with civility and kindness. That attitude is too sorely lacking today. I see it lacking so much in today's political and public environment. I think we all here know that we are better than the sound bites and rhetoric that swirl around us every day. And in our community, I do know that we have the courage to rise to our best selves, not to reduce ourselves. And the third point, while in law school, have the courage to keep your perspective. You may have heard horror stories about how law school is so hard. Well, it's not easy. You will work hard, probably harder than ever before in law school. But you can have the courage to keep your perspective, because law school is hard, but it also can be fun. Law school should be enjoyable. Have the courage to make it so. Take the time to make friends among your classmates, for these folks will be your friends and professional colleagues for life. Remember that look left, look right thing? There's actually a reason for that. I want you to start thinking of yourselves all the time as friends, and remember this first day when that started. Because in between the long hours of studying, you need to enjoy these relationships. Enjoy your friends, your family. Enjoy yourself. But these folks here in this room and the family who got you here and your friends, they will get you through, and they'll be there when you're graduating. You see, you've chosen a path. It's not always easy. Sometimes you choose a hard thing, and sometimes life throws things at you that are difficult. But don't take any of it for granted. It's too easy to just let each day go by and accept what it has and do no more than what's asked of you. It's easy to go to class and then just go home, rather than sticking around for a debate on the death penalty or free speech. Some discussions are hard. It's easy to take on the same type of case as a lawyer over and over. That familiar territory can be comforting. It's easy to avoid the difficult challenges of unpopular cases. Controversy can be unsettling. It is easy to focus solely on limited tasks in front of you and to perform each task in a mechanical fashion. Stretching a boundary can be challenging. And it's easy to settle for the daily routine. Indeed, change can be difficult for all of us. But I think the challenge in being a lawyer worthy of this profession and the challenge of being a student in the great Villanova law tradition is not to do the same thing every day. Have the courage to ask, to challenge, to question what you see. Seek out the real challenges, make the tough choices, and be a leader. Have the courage to make your decisions based on more than personal interest. Have the courage to make a decision without regard to the popularity of your position. You all know what you believe. You know what is right. Stand up for it and live it. You are Villanova Law. You will be great lawyers. Welcome. At this point, it is now my great pleasure and honor to introduce the president of Villanova University, Father Peter Donohue.
That was the simplest introduction I've ever received, so thank you. First of all, welcome to Villanova, and I wanted to ask you how many of you guessed this was Father Peter Donohue, so as I walked up to the doorway here. But as the role of the president of any university is not only to guide the vision of the university, but also to welcome everybody that crosses into its threshold. So on behalf of everyone here at Villanova University, welcome to Villanova. And the faculty here have heard me say all of this before, so they're all sitting in the front rows, so I'm going to come down to you rather than you look up at me. Why did you choose Villanova? What was the reason? Do you know much about it? Was there a specific reason why you came here and why you chose this particular university? Maybe it was because you liked the name, the Charles Widger School of Law. Maybe you liked the location, the main line of Philadelphia, a short train ride away to Center City, to the city of brotherly and sisterly, as we say now, love. Maybe you are from the area and you thought it'd be a lot better if you could just live at home and mom could continue to take care of you as you do all that studying. Maybe you wanted to come to another part of the country. Maybe you wanted to have an opportunity to live on the East Coast. Maybe you wanted an opportunity to live in the Northeast. Maybe you wanted an opportunity to have a different kind of culture, climate, rain, no sun, but today it's sunny, and sometimes snow. Maybe you just didn't get into any place else. And some of you laugh because you know that's true. So let me tell you a little bit about Villanova, and maybe it'll change your minds why you might have chosen this place. As you see up on that seal up there, Villanova was founded in 1842 by Augustinian friars, of which I am one, who came from Ireland to serve the needs of Irish immigrants. People that were coming to Philadelphia, leaving Ireland because of famine, because of better job security, because of new dreams, because of that American dream that was being proposed, because of their literally hatred for the Great Britain. And this country had beaten them. And so why not start in a country that also was opposed to England? And so many, many immigrants from Ireland were flocking over to the New World. And many of them came here without education, without a whole lot of money, without a whole lot of necessary things that they would have to create life, but they believed that there was something special here. It is still the reason that so many immigrants come to the United States. It is still the reason that so many people try to live here and be part of this culture, because of what we have promoted for many years, that this is a land of opportunity. that this is a land of freedom, that this is a land of respect, that this is a land where everyone should be treated equally. Those are actually the things that are espoused in the founding documents of this country. And those are things that many people from other countries continue to find appealing. And so the Irish in the 1800s, the 1700s, when they were flocking over here, felt that they found that dream. And many of you probably come from people who came here for that reason. And so when they came here, they did not find it a land of opportunity. They did not find it a land of equality. They did not find it to be a place where they were welcomed. They found it a place where Irish were told to go home, not to apply for jobs, not to seek anything new. And so the Augustinians believed that with education and with the opportunity to immerse themselves in this culture, they would be able to find their place. And so this school was started to educate the children of Irish immigrants. At first, it was all male. It was a different time, a different society. And they came out here and bought this property, which was called the Bel Air Estate, from a widow, a woman who was recently widowed by the name of Jane Rudolph, because women were not allowed to own property. And so she was having her estate put up on the auction block. The Augustinians knew her, and two of them came out here and offered her the whopping sum of $18,000. Money they did not have to buy this property. And she made an agreement with them that she would take 2 payments, half the first year and the other half the second year. And the other agreement she made with them was that the people that were working on her farm were allowed to stay and continue to work here, that they would continue to make their lives and their fortunes and their families here on this property. And they said, of course. And then they had to go out and find the money. And so they started this with this dream of creating a place where people would come together to be educated and live as one in the Augustinian principles of veritas, unitas, and caritas, living in truth, living in community, and living in love. This Augustinian Catholic Christian community is a faith-based school, and we welcome people from all faiths because it's in welcoming people of all faiths and all backgrounds that we become a better place, that we become a better opportunity, that we become better at knowing who we are and knowing what we are about. Dean Alexander talked about this seal, and then you'll notice in the seal, in the center of the seal, is this flaming heart, which is something that identifies Augustine, St. Augustine, the founder of our community. He wrote a lot. I don't expect any of you to read it all, but he wrote a lot. But in all of his works, he talks about igniting the heart and how that heart is ignited. And one of his most famous quotes is, "O God, our heart is restless until it rests in you." Our heart, singular, is restless until it rests in you. That we join together as one heart to ignite in this world something of God's love. That we ignite in this world an energy in each other to accomplish something for those in need. That we ignite in each other the ability to realize that we have the opportunity and the power and the privilege to help someone else rise to a new level. That we invite them into this flaming heart, and in this flaming heart they will discover who they are, where they are, and what they are a part of, and that they are a part of this greater community. And if you really look at that in some way or another, you'll see that it's actually what the profession of law is all about. And as Dean Alexander reminded you, there are many avenues, many paths that you can take as a lawyer. But I ask you at Villanova that you take the path of inviting someone into our heart. Because inviting somebody into your heart is inviting somebody into the very core of your life, the thing that keeps beating life throughout all of us. And that's what you are called to be, a person who gives life to someone else, a person who gives hope to someone else, a person who realizes that you have the ability to change their lives. Villanova is still, I believe, and I say it all the time, a place that welcomes immigrants. All of us are immigrants. All of us come from different places, different families, different value systems, different economic backgrounds. All of us come to bring the desire and the hope to create something new and to live in a new reality. Now, we're not always successful, and I'm not trying to paint a picture that Villanova does everything wonderful, or even that the Catholic or Christian faith does everything right. Sometimes we fail as saints, and we succeed as sinners. And there's often times that through those failures that we learn what it is that we need to do better and how it is we need to live. This property, this section of the Bel Air estate, was actually given to the family who were the closest friends of Jane Rudolph. They were Judy and Michael Molden. They were African-American tenant farmers that she insisted they continue to work this property. And it was known affectionately by people in the area as Mount Misery, because you had to walk up this hill to get here. So welcome to Mount Misery. And maybe at times you may feel that and succeed in that. But the Molden family became very ingrained in the life of Villanova as it grew, and were very helpful to the Augustinian friars as they began to immigrate to this part of the country. And so we have to look at how we continue to live and how we continue to grow and how we continue to make this university and this law school a place that welcomes people of all faiths, creeds, ways of life, economic backgrounds, how we open our arms to our immigrant population and grow and succeed and learn from one another. This place can be miserable if you allow it to be. But this place can also be magnificent if you open your heart, if you open your mind, and you open your soul to allow change to enter into you. It is never easy, but with it, you will realize that you have found a place, a Villanova, a new home. Welcome to Villanova.
So at this point, having heard the inspiration from Father Peter, I want to introduce you to a few people, get down a little bit of brass tacks. I would like to start by introducing my leadership team in the Dean Suite. First, I'd like to introduce you to April Barton, Associate Dean for Academic Affairs. Michael Risch, Associate Dean for Faculty Research. Jennifer Henfey, Associate Dean for Finance Administration and Executive Director of Career Strategy. And Edward Stephen in the back there, Associate Dean for Development and Alumni Relations. And now it is my pleasure to introduce Vice Dean Todd Aagaard, who will introduce the faculty. Dean Aagaard.
Thank you very much. I'm so delighted to be here this morning to introduce my fellow members of the Villanova Law faculty. These are the teachers who will lead you through your transformation into an attorney over the next 3 years. They will challenge you, they'll support you, and they'll hopefully inspire you. They're going to ask you tough questions, they're going to edit your papers, review your outlines, talk with you about the issues of the day, advise you about courses and career choices. Sometimes they're just going to ask you how you're doing. As Dean Alexander said in his opening remarks, we are a community here at Villanova. We are here because we want to help you learn. Beyond that, we're all part of the broader community of the legal profession. And as of today, you are a member of that community as well. And it's our duty, as members of the faculty who are leading you to the transformation to becoming lawyers, to hold you to the highest standards of the legal profession. And we'll do that, and we'll do it with respect and love that provides the foundation for everything we do here at Villanova. So with that, I'll introduce the individual members of the faculty, and they can stand, and so you can see who they are and get to know them. Don't be afraid if you hear, oh, that person teaches in an area I'm interested. It's okay, you can come up to us and say hi and things like that, and introduce yourselves. That's what we do here at Villanova. So I'll go in alphabetical order to get myself out of the way, AAG. I trump even Dean Alexander in that regard. So I am Todd Aagaard, and I teach property, environmental law, and energy law. Dean Alexander is a member of our faculty. He teaches election law as well as does some other stuff as dean. Caitlin Berry is in the back, and she directs our Farm Workers Legal Aid Clinic and also co-teaches the Race and Law class. April Barton up front. She teaches administrative rulemaking and leadership skills for lawyers, and also, as you know, is the Associate Dean for Academic Affairs. Heather Baum. Heather teaches in our legal writing program. Many of you will have her in your first year. Professor Leslie Book teaches federal tax and taxation of business entities. Andrew Brandt teaches sports law and is the director of the Morad Center for Sports Law. Patrick Brennan. Patrick teaches administrative law, constitutional law, and justice and rights. Doris Brogan. Doris teaches torts, privacy law, conflicts of law, and legal profession. Mike Campbell. Mike teaches the Health Law Clinic and the Health Law course, and also is the director of our clinical programs. Ben Carlson. Ben teaches legal research. Many of you will have him in your first year. Matt Carluzzo. Matt teaches academic support and strategic legal analysis. Candace Centeno. Candace teaches legal writing and medical malpractice. Michelle Dempsey. Michelle teaches criminal law, evidence, sexuality in the law, and gender in the law. Diane Edelman. Diane teaches legal writing and is our director of international programs. Amy Emerson. Amy Emerson teaches legal writing and research and is the director of the law library, and it's her first semester here at Villanova, so welcome, Amy. Is Tammy Etheridge here? Okay. Rebecca Feldman. Rebecca teaches in our asylum and refugee clinic, and it's also her first semester here at Villanova. Brett Frischman. Brett teaches internet law, law and economics and technology policy. Ruth Gordon. Ruth teaches public international law, international environmental law, international trade, and international business transactions. Susanna Greenberg. Susanna teaches and directs our civil justice clinic, and it's her first semester here at Villanova. Robert Hagedorn. Robert is one of our librarians who teaches legal research. Ann Juliana. Ann teaches civil procedure, employment law, employment discrimination, sex discrimination, and gender in the law. What's that? And she's very funny. Catherine Langtote. Kathy teaches constitutional law, legal profession, and American legal history. Andrew Lund. Andrew teaches business organizations, business and economics of law, and is the director of our Scarpa Center for Law and Entrepreneurship. Matt McGovern. Matt teaches legal research and is also the director of our externship program. Christine Mooney. Christine teaches negotiation and mediation, trial advocacy, and is the director of our professional skills program. Michael Moreland. Michael teaches torts, constitutional law, and law and religion. Joy Mullane. Joy teaches federal taxation and wealth tax. Mitch Nathanson. Mitch teaches in our first year legal writing program. Jennifer O'Hare. Jennifer teaches business organizations, securities regulation, a securities law seminar, and corporate governance. Orly Oren Kolbinger. Orly teaches tax policy, federal tax, and empirical analysis of law. Terry Ravenel. Terry teaches civil procedure, criminal procedure, civil rights, police conduct, and co-teaches the race and law course. Michael Risch. Mike teaches contracts, intellectual property courses, and is also our Associate Dean for Faculty Research. Mary Ann Robinson. Mary Ann teaches our legal writing transactional courses. Chaim Seaman. Chaim teaches insurance law, contracts, and Jewish law. Tuan Samahan. Tuan teaches civil procedure, constitutional law, and federal courts. Amy Spare. Amy teaches legal research. Lou Sirico. Lou teaches property, land use planning, advanced legal writing, and a course about the Constitutional Convention. Christine Spidell. Christine teaches in our federal tax clinic, and it's also her first semester here. Jessica Webb. Jessica teaches our legal writing litigation courses. Ellen Wertheimer. Ellen teaches torts, contracts, a Supreme Court course, and bioethics. Sharon Wilson. Sharon directs our law and entrepreneurship clinic, and it's also her first semester here at Villanova. So as I said, welcome to all of you. I hope that you get to know each of us individually. We really do have an open door policy, so stop by and say hi to somebody, meet your professors. We feel like we do our job best when we get to know you as people and as students. So with that, I'll leave you to your next session is with you're divided into sections. It should clearly designate where you're supposed to go in your sheet. This is your introduction to the 1L curriculum session. If you have any question where you're supposed to go, just find one of us and ask us. And good luck.